My people, this story we are following right now is serious, and it is getting attention from every corner. What happened in court today with Nnamdi Kanu and the judge is not small at all. The courtroom was full, people were tense, and every word that came out from that courtroom spread like fire across social media. If you are watching this right now, please take 1 second, click the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss any updates as this matter unfolds. Now, let's talk about what really went down. Today, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, appeared before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Everyone expected the hearing to move smoothly. Maybe his lawyers would call witnesses or present some new defense. But the opposite happened. When the judge asked if he was ready to present his defense, Kanu calmly stood up and said he would not be calling any witnesses. The whole court went silent. Even the journalists in the room looked surprised. The judge, Justice James Omotosho, looked at him directly and said something firm. That the case cannot just be hanging like that the court must move forward. The judge reminded him that the rules of the court are clear. If you refuse to present your defense, the court will close your case and move to judgment. That's when things became tense. Kanu said something that caught everyone's attention. He told the court that there is no valid written law in Nigeria to try him under the charges that were brought against him. Now imagine that moment. The judge on one side, very composed, making sure the process continues, and on the other side, a man who has become a symbol of political struggle in Nigeria standing his ground, saying that the whole foundation of the case against him is not legal. The air in that courtroom was heavy. You could feel that silence that comes before people start whispering and murmuring. If you are enjoying this gist, please click the like button now and make sure you subscribe, because this is just the beginning of what is turning into one of the biggest court stories in Nigeria this year. After that statement, the judge told Kanu clearly that the court will not be wasting more time. He fixed November 20 as the final judgment date. That means in a few days, the entire country will be watching again to hear the outcome of this long-running case. This case has been dragging for years, from when Kanu was first arrested, to when he left the country, to when he was brought back, and now to this stage where the final judgment is getting closer. And many people have mixed feelings about this matter. Some people see Nnamdi Kanu as a freedom fighter, someone who speaks for the people of the Southeast, who they believe have not been treated fairly in the country. Others see him as someone who went too far, whose words and actions caused division and tension. But no matter what side you stand on, one thing is sure. What happened in court today shows that this story is far from over. When Kanu told the court that there is no valid written law for his trial, it reminded people of the earlier judgments in Kenya, where a court ruled that his 2021 arrest and transfer to Nigeria were unlawful. That case in Kenya made headlines because it supported Kanu's long-standing argument that his rights were violated. So today, when he stood in court and repeated his stand, many of his supporters saw it as him staying consistent. Outside the courtroom, there were groups of supporters who had come hoping for good news. Some were holding placards, others were just standing quietly waiting for updates from inside. Security was tight. Police vehicles were parked around the area and officers were positioned everywhere. You could tell that the authorities were ready for any possible protest or disturbance. But still, the atmosphere outside was emotional. Many of Kanu's followers say they want justice and freedom for their leader. They believe he should not even be on trial because of the Kenyan ruling and other legal issues surrounding his arrest. Others who were watching online said that they want peace and that this case should be handled in a way that brings calm, not more division. If you are following this story too, kindly like this video right now and subscribe so that we can keep you updated with what happens next. Inside the courtroom, after the exchange between Kanu and the judge, the lawyers from both sides made short statements. The prosecution reminded the court that the charges are serious and that the government is only following due process. The defense, however, argued that everything about this trial is built on an illegal foundation. The judge listened,
took notes, and announced that since Kanu has chosen not to call any witness, the next step will be judgment. The courtroom slowly emptied after that. But everyone who left knew that this was just the calm before the storm. You see, this story is more than just a legal issue. It's political, emotional, and deeply tied to Nigeria's history. The issue of Biafra and the feeling of marginalization in the Southeast have been part of our national discussion for decades. Many young people from that region see Kanu as a voice who speaks their frustration. For them, every court appearance feels like a test of justice. For others, especially in government, it's about maintaining unity and order. So the courtroom is not just a room, it's like a stage where Nigeria's deeper questions about identity and fairness are being played out. Now let's pause a bit and think. November 20th. That is the date everyone is waiting for. The judgment could go either way. If the court rules against Kanu, it could mean more appeals, more protests, and more debates. If the court rules in his favor, that would shake the political space because it would raise questions about everything that has happened since 2021. Either way, that day will be a turning point. So please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel because we'll be following it all in real time and you don't want to miss it. Now, let's talk about what this means for ordinary Nigerians. A lot of people are tired of political tension, tired of fear, tired of economic struggles. Many are saying that it's time for peace. They want the government and leaders from every region to find a way to talk things out instead of always fighting through the courts. Some also believe that this trial should be a lesson for both sides, that violence or threats cannot bring lasting change, and that real progress must come through dialogue and development. The interesting thing is that Nnamdi Kanu himself, since being in detention, has sometimes spoken about peace and calm. At one point, he even told his followers to stop violence and remain peaceful. But of course, the interpretation of his words has always depended on who you ask. Some believe him, others don't. Still, today's courtroom moment reminded everyone that his voice still carries power, even from detention. When the judge left the courtroom, journalists rushed outside to send the reports to their stations. Some of them said that the look on Kanu's face was one of quiet confidence, like someone who already knew what he wanted to say. Others said he looked tired but determined. Either way, his reaction, refusing to call witnesses and insisting that the trial itself is illegal, will be the headline for days. And let's not forget the political ripple. Politicians from different parts of the country are watching closely. Some are worried that the judgment could ignite fresh unrest. Others are seeing it as a chance to show that Nigeria's justice system still works. It's a delicate balance. The court must be fair but also firm, and the government must respect the court while ensuring peace. These are the realities of leadership in a country as diverse as ours. If you've been watching up to this point, thank you. Please take a second, click the like button and subscribe to this channel. It helps more people see this kind of calm and truthful reporting. Let's keep this conversation respectful in the comments too. Share your thoughts, but let's keep it peaceful. As the court prepares for November 20, the nation waits. People are praying, talking, and hoping. Supporters of Kanu are planning peaceful gatherings to show solidarity. Human rights groups are watching and international observers too are likely paying attention. Everyone knows that this case could set a major precedent. Now, let's go deeper into the emotional side. For many people in the Southeast, this case is personal. Families talk about it at dinner. Traders in the market mention it. Students debate it. It's become part of the daily conversation. That shows how much impact one person's story can have on a whole region. Some people say that whether you agree with Kanu or not, his story has opened the country's eyes to long-ignored issues. Others say that it has also created unnecessary division. But one thing everyone agrees on is that Nigeria must find a peaceful way to move forward. If you look back at history, moments like these have always tested our unity. The key question is, can we learn from them? Can we talk instead of fight?
Can justice and peace exist side by side? Those are the questions that this case is forcing everyone to ask again. And that's why this court drama is not just about law, it's about who we are as a people.